I want to express my sincerest and humblest gratitude to you all. You know, the fact that this moment is happening right now, it's a reminder or reinforce what I already know, which is together and only together as a community can we achieve things that people deem impossible or people deem we are not worthy of. And today we are celebrating my book signing, and I have no shadow of doubt, that in the years to come, our community and our children will have a better tomorrow. And I have no doubt about it, because your presence here is a testament of it. Many people from different background and different walk of life, different generation, and it's what we need at this moment in time. And if I can say this, and I believe with all of my heart that you are contributing to one of the greatest missions one can set out to accomplish, which is leaving a lasting legacy. In the sense that we all long for, dream for, our name to be remembered in the best possible light. And investing in this generation couldn't be a much better way to do so. And when I talk about Lakay, people, Haitians, quickly remember, okay, Lakay, that's home, that's where I'm from, my homeland, my place of birth. But yes, it is that. It is what that means. But for me, Lakay is a concept. It is a place when you rise from your slumber that's there with you and remains when the sun sets. It is also a place of serenity. It's a place of hope in the midst of all the issues that's going on, or all the troubles around you. For me, that meaning is where you find hope in the midst of hopelessness. It's where you go, and that's why people say home is where your heart is, because at home you feel safe. In your Lakay, you find ways to recharge and to go back outside and fight whatever thing comes your way. And that experience was no different than me, and I'm pretty sure it's not different than yours, in a way that we long to make tomorrow a better place. But for us to do that, we have to continue on that journey of perseverance, endurance, and fight a better day. So after today, or before even tonight, a lot of people already refer to me, is a published author, which is cool, it's a cool thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But for me, I see myself as a storyteller. I see myself as someone who has the utmost opportunity to share stories many other people didn't have opportunity to do. Either from talking about my childhood in Sant, and I talk about that first chapter, and how I talk about, you know, the little girl walking on the street giggling, you know, while the mom is behind them running and say, no, you're gonna be late, you know, stop talking, just rush to go home, to go to school. Or I talk about the fact that when you are waking up, you don't even need an alarm clock. You have that rooster behind your house, you know, that is waking you up every morning. You know, it's that beauty and that sense of home that keep us together. At the same time, I talk about the experience. I wouldn't be surprised if none of you know about it, or a few people know about it. The massacre that happened in Sant in 2004. It's where you have two groups of opposite political views. They share the same hometown. Their kids probably go to the same schools. Yet they find a divide in who in power and who is not in power. Who they support and who they don't support. Ultimately, that drives them toward where they have to kill each other for that view. And for me, it was like, how can a place so beautiful, you know, everything's so together, you know, you're playing hide and seek, you're playing, you know, all these things, but at the same time, someone can let evil get the best of them and then to destroy in that sense. But I also talk about the story of me coming to the US, you know, the fact that us Haitians, at least I know, whenever they know you are going to the US, they think, man, you're gonna walk on gold. You know, you're gonna be walking and see the tree, the green tree, and just stick it. Life is beautiful. And in many ways it is. You find more opportunity than you could have ever dreamed of here than in Haiti. It's a fact. But at the same time, it wasn't as easy as they portrayed it to be. So that ultimate culture shock to realize, man, you gotta sweat. You gotta go wake up at 5 a.m. if you're in the service industry. If you don't have a car, wait for that bus. You know, at 2 p.m., the Miami sun is just wait for you. If the bus stops, there's not a place where for you to sit. You have to wait on it. It's raining, or you have to run because the bus just passed you. You have to run behind it trying to make the driver stop. It is hard work. You don't just come and sit and lay and expect that better tomorrow. But also, my Lakay is not only that, it talk about a story of an immigrant, someone who comes to the US and ultimately become undocumented. The fact that you have to live with that hope any day can be your last. You have to walk with that expectation. Just someone in your car make a police stop you, and then here you go. Welcome to Chrome. But nevertheless, like I say, I always find someone where I can rely on that can help me remind me about my Lakay, my home, that place where I can rest and continue. Ultimately, you know, I have Teacher Colleen here, and I met Teacher Colleen in North Miami, the adult school, like trying to learn English. And then that connection, what I call the impactor, the one that the influencer that just touch your life and then determine for it to be a better. And then ultimately, I had the distinct honor and privilege to work with Mr. former Mayor Myron Rosner, and which I admire very much. And those stories point me from different place to different place. And Lakay bring me to what we're gonna call in that chapter the Trail of Dream. A campaign that set out to have undocumented people set out on a journey from Miami in front of the Freedom Tower to Washington, D.C. in front of the White House, walking from January 1st to May 1st. Walking for their family, walking to meet other people like them and share their stories, and in hope embolden them to step out and share their stories. But it didn't stop there, because it was never where we needed to stop, because Lakay is not just a story of struggle where you always find that the main character fighting for his life and desperately, and in many ways, a lot of stories you've heard about Haitians, that's how it is. You have to struggle to no end, to no avail, like there's no hope. But toward the end of the chapter, or toward the end of the book, I took the principle of hope and I shared it toward the end of the chapter. And in the introduction, I talk about the concept of greater possibility. When you have that greater possibility and what it can do. Today we are celebrating the Battle of Vertières, the last battle in the Haitian Revolution. But that came out to be a successful one because at one point they imagined for themselves that greater possibility. Like they themselves can be free. They themselves can decide about their own tomorrow. And they did it not by themselves where the slave decide to do it, but they had that unity among them, that togetherness is live free or die. There's no in between. It's either we all fight for us to be free or we all die. That imagination. And I think about what can our generation imagine? What is a greater possibility can we imagine? For us Haitian or for us, well, from other background. What is that thing? They're gonna call you crazy, they're gonna call you dreamer. And when they said that, I said, then let me dream. Because anything ever achieved in life, anyone we ever truly respect, start with a dream too crazy for people to understand. A dream too big for him, for other people to comprehend. And that last chapter, I said, the country we ought to dream for. And then don't expect me to give you a 7-point how it's gonna be, but my hope is for you to entertain your spirit, for you to imagine that greater possibility for yourself, that greater possibility for your family, that greater possibility for your community. In the end, that greater possibility for your own country. If you're American, what do you ought to see in this country? If you're Haitian or if you're from any other place, what do you ought your country to be? Is it equality? Is it prosperity? Is it peace? Is it, I don't know. You decide. But I want you to imagine that greater possibility. And I think that's, if at least one person at least think about that greater possibility, then I think my hope or my goal or my mission for this book will be sufficient. Because I want you to be hopeful. I want you to never lose hope. Either when I talk about the audacity of faith, in a sense of being undocumented, going to Miami-Dade, and then couldn't pay for my school. I have to find place to find the money, but I just can't. And I'm looking at those class was about to drop, and I'm going from again. And someone asked me, who are all these people earlier? And I said, all these people, and I mean all of you, impact me in a positive way, either you know it or not. And I was grateful to meet Professor Pradel. And I'll go to Professor Pradel's office, and Professor Pradel said, no, go to this office. And I'll go to that office, and they say, okay, the person just step out, you're gonna come back. The next day, I went back the next day. No, okay, it's not the person, so you have to meet that person. No, okay, the person, okay. Yeah, like, it's just, by the end of that semester, everyone on campus knew me. I still go to Wolfson. And they still know me. And as a matter of fact, they knew, not even, I know the other car, people who kind of know it, but they also know me, my face. Because one lady from the financial ed told me one thing, and she said, I can see you are a good boy. You are not one of the others. I want you to go to the legal department in building 1, 4th floor, talking about Wolfson. I also want you to go to, it was around the time Miami Book Fair. I want you to go to the Miami Book Fair, volunteer there, because you're gonna meet people. And then he said, but don't go to the library, because if you're gonna go for read, awesome, but you're not gonna find anybody there that's gonna help you out like this. And definitely don't even go to the gym, because if you're not gonna try out to do exercise, there's like, what are you gonna need in the gym for? So go to those places. And it's because of them, because they took a moment to give me that advice, that I am the person here, because I am able to publish a book. Nope. I don't expect people to know those stories. But I do expect when people see me, at least to know I didn't get there all on my own. Or at least it wasn't just something that overnight propelled me to where I am. There's someone that took a chance on me. There's someone, even when I mess up, can call me and help me out. So I am gonna read a passage, and I was having issues. Angie, I don't know if I told Angie that, but I was saying, man, okay, I still don't know what part of the book I need to read, because I know for me, everything is good. But when I was doing the interview with the reporter Miami-Dade, and then the editor-in-chief asked me, you talk about that massacre. I looked for it and I didn't find anything about that massacre. Okay, talk to me about it a bit. And I was more than happy to talk to her about it. But again, I come to the realization that that was the reason I talk about that chapter. Not because it was easy, because you are reliving something. It was, yes, a therapeutic moment, but I hope people to hear about it, read about it, and then to know what happened there. not to seek vengeance, but at least to know something happened here, and how can we stop, how can we prevent ourselves, how can we look at the clues to make sure something like that never happen again. So that is the goal of me talking about the massacre. And to put you in context, dictators were satisfied with stealing from us and beating us. But this time around, their appetite to kill, and to do so in such a barbaric way, was beyond me. It seemed as though their satisfaction was not just in the act of killing itself, but in the manner in which the person was killed. They rejoiced in the pain they inflicted and welcomed the air incense by the smell of the burned human skin, accompanied by the agonizing cry of a mother's heart, shattered heart. Sometimes, even when I'm trying to envision these events, the justification of an individual throwing another human being into a fire, into a house on fire, is beyond my ability to comprehend. Who would burn an individual alive? Is his party affiliation enough reason to inflict such extreme punishment? All in all, it was simply the wrong place. It was simply at the wrong place at the wrong time. I cannot but help think of what his mother was going through, the kind of agony she must have felt listening to the voice of someone she had protected for 9 months, breastfed for 6 months. Watch grew up right in front of her eyes, now hearing that same cry and unable to do anything, just pouring out her soul, crying for mercy, but with no one there to help. I do not think the people who lived through that time can even forget that day. How could they? I will never forget the fear I saw in my mother's face. I cannot forget the sorrow and the pain I saw in many of these families during moments after that day. I remember what someone had said 10 years before the massacre. The country will be safe so that everybody can find work and food. There should be peace. Aristide will bring peace, said Florence, one of Aristide's favorite supporters. Like anyone else at that time, that was what we had hoped for. However, the devils of this earth, the ones we Haitians had become too familiar with, did not see us as worthy of such basic human rights, and instead, they sentenced us to a disheartened hope. When I reflect on the day before and the day of the massacre, I think about how hate can drive certain people to nefarious methods. When you escape something as heinous as that massacre, when you actually know people were killed and see how close the scent of death is, an unshakable optimism to see a better Haiti is birthed within your heart. Thank you. Yes, that's true.
To our home about a month ago, after that, I reflected on probably what the best part of being elected official was. And it was actually meeting somebody like you and Carl, the people that I interacted with, and how they come through over time. And I look at you today and I'm like, the evolution of the years that have gone by and what we've done. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know, and it goes the same way. It goes the same way. I appreciate it, and I love the family very much. I'm pretty sure my wife is looking at you right now, and then telling, and then saying, okay, why are you asking this question? No, he's not going back home. You know. But one thing I did, I do see myself going back, you know. And I will say this, and I am saying it with 100%, and then my heart is in it. I truly believe if I do not go back, I've missed my calling, in that sense that, it's a lot of people want to be in different places, but I really think that place where I need to be is in Haiti. Now, I'm not ready yet to just pack my bag and then just go, but I think I'm trying to do things to make it a reality to when that day comes, so I can be home, I can go. See it in the audacity of faith, because I mentioned a lot of time, not only dates or the day, but like I mentioned a lot of time, actual time, like 2:45 p.m., 1 p.m. Because I did that because right after I met someone, when I see it was meaningful, I put it down. I wrote it down. So it took me a long time, but it would have taken me a longer time had I not have the journal. I can go back and just take them and put it. But also, it allows me to not filter it through the growth I have now. Because if I'm looking at something I did five years ago, so I'm looking at it through that growth lens, through a more experienced David. But if I can look at it from that journal perspective, I see me back 5 years ago, where I was and how I was. So that's a good thing I like about journaling. And but I do have a journal available if you do, for sale if people want to.
That this book transcends a small community, but it transcends, it crosses over to everybody. And this touches every single person. And he is just an incredible, for your son, for the other one that's coming into this world very soon, David, you are a role model and a mentor. And you have touched so many people, and I'm so incredibly proud of you and your journey. And I'm looking forward to so much more, because you're an incredible human being. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Zabel. Thank you, Myron, for